Hello, welcome to Soul Numerology with Karen Riley. Today, I thought I would love to share with you the month of April of this year, 2020. I just want to shine a light on the numerology knowledge and the guidance as a signpost here for all of us really, because it's really part of the environmental journey that we're all within. It's the vibrations actually of the planetary vibrations. It's part of the whole globe, no matter where we are. So this month in particular is really significant out of the whole year of 2020. This month in February, because of the alignment of the same vibrational cycles within this year. February, I mentioned, I won't go into it now, but February is the second month. Carries the two vibrations for that whole duration of the phase of the month. 2020, we've got the doubling of the two, so it's rather significant. So it brings into an alignment of same, and so it's emphasized, you see. And so that's why during the month of February, all of the twos growth, emotional growth, personal, spiritual growth, was all taking place there where we really needed help, or many did, out in the world of environmental circumstances of events that were taking place. There was a need for joining together, of groups coming together, a unified approach and support. In the month of February would have been very much heightened, and there would have been that sensitivity there. And then if we multiply all those twos, the doubling of the two within this year, it's the 4. The second month, it's the same, it's a 6. So we can see within the layers of a higher vibrational, higher guidance, higher message, higher purpose really encoded within the vibrations of the month of February, of the 6 guidance. And 6 deals with families and loved ones and relationships, family, communities, and the services and the welfare of others, you see. So it's quite strong, all of those factors there. But let's come back to this month of April. Numerology pinpoints mathematically with precision the tide of the events here. We can see and learn between the layers of what really is going on in terms of what will best support us personally, and with all that is important with respect to a priority of what we really need to consider and evaluate and revise and review and look at. The April month in 2020, you're looking at the whole vibration of the 4 calendar year, and April is a 4 month. So once again, we've got the doubling up, we've got the emphasis here that's repeated. So what you can do mathematically is, when you think about the month of April, it's the 4th month within the 4 calendar year. So we've got the doubling up of the 4's guidance and the knowledge and the insights here as a defining signpost of support with reference to what this knowledge offers one. Doubling of the 4, unfortunately, April is a month within this calendar 12-month year. It can look, it's going to be a little different for others, but just keep that in mind because of the free will and personal choices and where one was prior to the month approaching one. So we have to be mindful of the free will. Now, for the most part, April as a month of its own, that's one thing. But within this calendar year of 2020, it denotes a challenging phase that's running through this month, you see. So instead of the flow of ease that one wants in terms of all of the 4's knowledge and guidance, which is our foundations and our financial security and our core living needs and our sense of security and stability, It's because of those double twos in the 2020 that shows the disruptions to the flow, you see. So that's where the challenges comes in. So April brings everything into focus, really, about what really is important, what really doesn't matter. So when you think about feeling stuck and restrictions and limitations, which is doubling of the 4, that's what it will show. Things can't stay the same as they once were, you see, because circumstances and events and personal experience will show you this, you see, will reflect this in their life somehow, some way. But what it can mean for some, where there are those restrictions and limitations, is, once again, mathematically, add 4 month of April to the 4 calendar year. 4 plus 4 equals 8. 8 becomes the solution. 8 becomes the higher purpose, the higher growth. 8 deals with empowerment, taking back your personal power. Think about what will put you in a position of control, of empowerment and strength. What is perhaps best to give a release or a relief, even in letting go of those burdens that one might have been shouldering and carrying, and the weight of the burdens upon one's own shoulders. And now perhaps the time frame showing you different circumstances where that's been not the case. And so all of a sudden you've got time on your hands, and you've got the gift of time in terms of holding a review, a life review of sorts, in terms of the practicalities and facing the realities and looking at them realistically, rather than to perhaps ignore, deny or suppress. So especially when you think backwards, going back before April came about, look back a little bit and see what's really the focus now of the realities and practicalities of facing facts head on, really, in the situations as they're showing one to be. Because that 8 is both the solution and the pathway that best supports your best interests and your well-being as well. So 8 deals with the financial obligations and financial independence and financial security, but that's only one part of it. The other part is, what can you do that will put you in a position of empowerment? What choices can you make for yourself in terms of your sense of well-being, your livelihood, your self-worth, your self-value, your self-esteem? What choices can you make that will be relevant as to a priority of importance when those restrictions and limitations are outside your control, but not to the degree that you have free will? Know that you have free will. Know that you have choice. Know that there's a solution, that there's always another pathway, another sense of direction that one can follow that will lead one to a positive outcome, even with the eye and the building of the implementation of the planning, with the eye on the future long-term goals and what will open up to one for that flow of ease. Because right now, even with what we see and know in the world, put that aside for a moment, come back to you. Come back to what you're experiencing personally, individually. Come back to looking closely at what is unfolding right in front of you today and yesterday, and what could perhaps be repeated as a pattern of events, of experiences and behavioural patterns. I want you to look more closely at today, in the present moment, because numerology can do that. It can bring us right into this vibrational day to day, as well as the overview of the monthly phase within the year. So look at today and support your choices, support your free will in making your personal choices. Please never think that there is not a solution or another way or of doing things. the doubling of the 4, I know it's going to bring everything closer to 1, and it could even feel very suppressive and stifling and a burden and so restrictive. But then for others it can be the exact opposite, you see, because it can show a time frame of this month where you're so busy, like you've got so many other extra responsibilities on your shoulders, on your plate, things that you perhaps weren't doing before, but now you have to do. And so time management, organizational skills and abilities, and valuing structure rather than resisting it will be the best method of approach that you can give to yourself as a gift to create the flow of ease that you really do desire. I'll give you a little heads up. Whatever is going on right now, where there is the struggle, especially where there's a struggle in handling all these responsibilities and trying to do the best that you can with what you have, and even if it means letting go of what once was so familiar that you can't continue the same, so you've got to be a little more adaptable and flexible, and come up with those solutions, because the 8 is an umbrella of a higher message, a higher guidance, higher wisdom, higher purpose, encoded within the layers of this whole month, is wanting to bring that out from within you see. So if you can come into your wise managerial self, if you can make wise judgments, if you can make wise assessments and wise decisions for yourself relevant to what you're going through as an experience, and if you need the expertise of others that are around you, that you know that you can call upon or reach out for that support, even if it's just to talk things through, of those who are in the knowing and knowledge and experience and professionalism, make that phone call if necessary. Reach out a helping hand and ask for that support, ask for that help that you may be needing right now, so that you can put yourself back in the seat of, yes, I have some element of control. Yes, you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. You can plan, you can implement, you can rebuild, you can revise, restructure. Take those steps that are necessary, irrespectively of what's going on in the outside world. Think about your needs. Think about what you can do in implementing the changes that are important for you, that will lead you to a brighter pathway ahead and a brighter future. The month of May will show for many within the globe, will show for many movement occurring, a lightening up. However, what we can do now, what you can do now, and what we can all do for one's own sense of self is adopt a consciousness that is one of responsibilities and obligations that belong with oneself, rather than putting it all on everyone else. Seek to share the workload, seek to share the tasks, seek for fair-based agreements, seek to reconcile, seek to heal, seek to unite. King Solomon comes to mind, of the wise judgment, the wise choices and decisions. That's the 8. That's the 8 growth that seeks to come through all these layers for one and all in this time frame. To be very wise. Be careful of making false judgments. Be careful of jumping to conclusions or without all the facts, You want to deal with the practicalities and the logic and the facts, especially in this month. A lot of us are having to perhaps look at employment elsewhere, look at getting the support financially elsewhere, because of the restrictions that are being imposed upon one. And so that's where that element of being limited can come into this month for quite a few of us. But then on the other side of the coin, if you flip this over, there can be others that are so busy because all of a sudden they're spiraling with so much other tasks to get done, other duties, other responsibilities that weren't there before, you see. And so they're going to feel stretched and overwhelmed and overburdened. That's where they'll need that support, you see. And that's where somehow, some way they have to receive that support or ask for it if necessary. And so that's where the wise delegations and tasks and orientation and structure and wise managerial skills comes into it as well. So I'll leave you with that for today. But I know the month of May will bring about a release of sorts, and things will start showing movement again. So look forward to that. But do what you can do now in preparation for the month of May, even if it's a whole new career path. If there's a course you can take on or learn or do for oneself to reskill oneself, this will be the ideal time frame as well. So just think about these things and reflect upon them, and I wish you well. Thank you. Bye for now.